So in church today for us, we learned about King David and how King David actually was a sinner, but then he finally asked God for forgiveness and God forgave him.
Wait. King David was a sinner?
Everyone is a sinner, right, Dad?
Yeah.
Technically,
all have sinned and fall short of glory of God.
technically everyone is a sinner. So King David was still a great king. It's just he's a human being too, and so he still fell short of the glory of God. So what did you guys learn?
God and Jesus.
What did you learn, Anaya? Yikes. But did y'all have fun? That's important. Yeah? Did you learn any new songs that you can sing for us? Naya, any songs? What is it? We missed our praise and worship today. All of it. And I was surprised they didn't do any at the end.
Yeah,
They normally do. So we learned that, and let me try to get my notes here about what exactly we was talking about. So basically we're talking about the pattern of sin, which the pattern of sin is seeing, desiring, taking, and then covering up. So that is basically Satan's strategy of trying to get you to indulge with sin, is whenever you see something that you want, you really have that type of desire or lust for it, then you go on ahead and take it even though you know you should not take it, and then you do a cover up for it to just kind of abolish yourself from doing that, having that guilt of that, doing that sin. And so what we had talked about, David, he got Bathsheba pregnant, and Bathsheba was Uriah's wife, which Uriah was actually like one of David's top soldiers. So David really sinned in the fact of he was dishonorable. He was dishonorable to Uriah by taking his wife and forcing her to have sex with him, and then turned around and had a baby, got her pregnant, and they had a son together. So once everything transpired, if you keep reading 2 Samuel, I believe it's 11, once everything starts unfolding, David is like, oh crap, I got Bathsheba pregnant, I gotta cover this up. So his cover up was sending Uriah to go ahead and have sex with her. And Uriah said, no, I'm not gonna be with my wife, I'm gonna be up here with my homies and the other soldiers who's in this tent who don't have any wives. That's how honorable Uriah was. But David is like, oh crap, so he is not gonna have no relations with Bathsheba, so that's gonna make it look even more, make me look even more guilty, because clearly he was the one that had got Bathsheba pregnant. So then what he in turn did was, once it was time to go back out to the war and fight it again, he took Uriah, he gave Uriah a letter, and he said, hey, give this to Joab. And Joab had clear instructions to make sure that Uriah goes to the forefront of the war so that he can die. And lo and behold, Uriah died. He never came back. So that's the cover up that David did for his sins. And who came to Nathan. And so who was Nathan?
Prophet.
Okay, so Nathan, a prophet. I missed that part. Nathan is a prophet. So fast forward from that, Uriah is gone. Now David's like, okay, well I can have Bathsheba in my house now, and we have a son because hey, we had sex. That's okay.
Stop saying that one word.
Sorry, they had fornication. And so after that, Nathan, a prophet, came to David and was like, yo, listen to this type of parable, right? Or was he being serious?
It was a parable, so David would accuse himself of his own wrongdoing.
So David can see how morally bad it was. And so what it was, Nathan was like, this dude this farmer really loved this lamb and fed it and cuddled with it and everything. And then he was like, but this rich man took his lamb so he can eat it. And so David got upset. He was like, no, we're going to find that rich man. We're going to handle him. We're going to go ahead and give that man that lost his lamb 4 more lambs just to make sure he's happy.
Didn't say that.
He said 4-fold. You don't remember that part? So I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he said we're going to give it back to him 4-fold. And so David was like, who is that man? Who is the man that did this to the farmer? And Nathan was like, you're that man. You're the man that took something that didn't belong to you. And that made David realize how, bad of a person his sin really was whenever he actually laid down with Uriah's wife. So he asked God for forgiveness. God forgave him. But it was just a good lesson, all in all, for us to kind of reflect on our own desires and trying to see what type of patterns of sin that we have in our lives, that we see and we take, and then we cover up.
Turns it at me.
And he was like, reflect, and I'm like, I don't really, like I sin, but I don't really have much sin. But everyone sins. We sin every day. That's just what we have to deal with. We just have to remember to ask God for that forgiveness, that mercy, that grace that He always will give to us as long as we keep trying to be more and more like His Son Jesus Christ, and not just having that faith of like, oh, God is going to forgive me, but also doing the works of what Jesus wants us to do. So that was the pattern of sin. And then we also talked about quickly the pathway to God's mercy, which is whenever you do sin, you have to confront it, you have to confess it, you have to repent it, and then get that restoration. So you can feel in your heart of hearts like, okay, I really don't want to have to sin over and over and over again and keep doing this whole cycle. You have to repent from that sin and try to become better and more like Jesus.